Hey, gang. Well, this is my entire wrestling mag collection, and there are actually some. There are actually a few here in this tub, and the reason why they're in this tub is because either one, I have copies of these magazines, especially the two on top, or they were just in really, really, really bad shape to try and show you guys what I have. So I'm doing this as kind of a response to Resident Vania 77 and Will's World because, I mentioned something about having a, sorry about that, a pretty good sized wrestling mag collection, and they said they'd love to see them. So for that, I'm giving them shout outs, and I hope you guys go check out their channels and their videos and subscribe to them as well. And, So, let's get this bad boy a-going. Let's start off with this one. I don't know how many parts I'm going to be doing this thing in, but we're going to try and have fun with it. Of course, we have the classic WWF magazine with Shawn Michaels on the cover from the time when he turned on The Undertaker and hit him over the head with a chair at SummerSlam when Undertaker and Bret Hart were going at each other. Oh, lordy. Let's see. Another classic WWF magazine during the Attitude Era with Matt Hardy and Lita on the edge. Yeah, it's kind of weird how Matt just... I can't get over him wearing dreadlocks. I'll put it to you that way in TNA. That was weird, but... I wonder if Matt's kind of ticked off that Lita's in the Hall of Fame yet. Neither he or Jeff are in the Hall of Fame yet, but oh well. All right, let's go on to some real classic stuff. WCW magazine. It's sort of a double-sided issue. We got this is supposed to be for the big War Games show that was happening between Sting, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, Nikita Koloff, Barry Windham, and Dustin Rhodes. Of course, Dustin Rhodes before he was Goldust. And they were taking on Ravishing Rick Rude, Arn Anderson, Stunning Steve Austin, Beautiful Bobby Eaton, and Larry Zbyszko. So there you guys have that one. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, believe it or not, Stone Cold Steve Austin once had long blonde hair when he was known as Stunning Steve Austin. Most people don't believe that, but I try and tell them all the time. Like, yes, he did. This is back sometime after Kane lost his mask, and WWE Magazine decided, hey, why not we just have a little story on his big, ugly red face. All right. And here's another one that should bring back some memories for you guys. One of the few ECW magazines they brought out. I actually bought every issue of ECW Magazine, including the final issue they had with Sid Vicious on the cover of it. Unfortunately, on my way home from buying the magazine, I got caught in the rain. The magazine got wet, ruined, and that's about it. But this one has Just Incredible on it, which many people say he was probably the worst ECW champion of all time. And here we go with another one. The very first issue with Taz on the cover. Pretty interesting story on it. Probably my favorite section to read on this was the section where Bill Alfonso was telling a lot of old wrestling stories. I love hearing old wrestling stories because those are always the most fun ones to hear. And, of course, another WCW magazine with Ric Flair and his now wife, Fifi, I believe her name was. Yeah, I don't remember her, honestly. I really don't. I'm trying to remember her, and I'm like, no, it doesn't ring a bell. Of course, there's a lot of stuff in WCW I'd like to forget ever happened, like David Arquette being the world's champion. And we have WWF Magazine with The Rock on the cover. The Rock has come back, and yeah, he comes back every once in a while just to promote a movie. So there you guys go. All right, here's Independent Wrestling Magazine. It was from Wrestling World, and about every year they would have the Who's Who in Wrestling. They give profiles on wrestlers, give off their real names, or at least what seemed like it was their real names, and some interesting facts about the wrestlers and everything like that. I think this was the first one they ever put out, and I think they quit doing it after a few years. And of course, we have another original logo WWF Raw magazine. This is back when WWF Raw and WWF Magazine had their own two magazines, which didn't make a whole lot of sense, but oh well. This one has Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart on the cover with the "Is Planet WWF big enough for both?" Apparently it wasn't, because Bret Hart took off to WCW, and he even admitted that was a big mistake. And of course we have the big SummerSlam match that they were talking about, JBL and The Undertaker. The match itself at SummerSlam was kind of give and take. It was kind of okay, but, you know. But, yeah, JBL was running wild and running over everybody he could. I'll never get over that time I read about little Joey Styles beat up JBL on a plane ride back from a show in Afghanistan they were doing, or wherever it was, for the tribute to the Troop show. And again, we have JBL on the cover, this time with John Cena when he was doing his basic thugonomics thing, and, yeah. Like we couldn't tell who was going to win that match at WrestleMania. We all knew it was going to happen. It was inevitable. One of the last few wrestling magazines I bought, of an independent wrestling magazine, Brawl in the Family. We have Mr. McMahon and Triple H, back when Triple H still had all his hair. Pretty interesting articles in there, but yeah, Vince McMahon should never have wrestled him. He's in good shape, but he should never have wrestled in the first place. Shane, though, Shane was awesome. And here's one for the Ultimate Warrior's return. God rest his soul. Short-lived run back in the WWF again. I think this was around WrestleMania 12, I believe it was. So, yeah. That man was insane with his promos. All you gotta do most of the time is put on YouTube insane Ultimate Warrior promo. You'll probably find about 12,000 videos. And this was around the time that Muhammad Hassan and Khosrow Davari was coming into the WWF during the whole, Iranians or whatever they were supposed to be, trying to find a good life in America and all this, but it turns out Davari, they're both actually American. Muhammad Hassan actually turned out he was Italian, and Davari was Arab American, and Davari was actually born in America. He was born, I believe, in either Minnesota or Massachusetts. So figure that one out. But they played it off pretty well, I gotta admit it, and it caused WWF controversy and also caused them to lose their jobs. And a WWF magazine issue with Kane in it. I think this is the issue where they do quotes from Metallica songs in part of the interview. So that was pretty cool. Oh boy, I'm gonna get crap for this one. Yep, Chris Benoit on the cover of Pro Wrestling Illustrated. I'm pretty sure Vince McMahon would have loved to have gotten a hold of this magazine after the whole incident happened and come in here and either tore the cover off or just spray painted the front part of it black. So yeah. Oh goodness, I'm sure you remember these days of Sting and the green and black face paint and all that, and very colorful outfits he wore back then. But yeah. He and Ric Flair should have had a match where the winner must admit that the loser had the worst fashion sense. We have WWF Magazine with Chuck Norris and Diesel. A lot of people said that Diesel was also considered one of the worst WWF champions of all time because when they put the belt on him, he did not exactly wrestle in front of sold-out crowds. But I don't know how true that is, But yeah, anything on the internet, you gotta believe it's about 100% real. And here's another one with Sid Justice. I almost said Sid Vicious on the cover, and I don't think you were ever going to see that again. Sid Justice had a pretty good run, but it was the Psycho Sid persona that I think got him over more than anything. Of course, poor guy was so injury prone, you can't blame a guy. Raw issue with the Dudley Boys on the cover. Of course, this is back when Raw and SmackDown were trying to have their own wrestling magazines separate, so there you guys have that. Another classic mag. Then I'm going to wrap this up for part 1. Wrestling All-Star Scrapbook. Back when Sting defeated Ric Flair for his first world title. Back when it was still the NWA. So that was pretty cool. Got Mr. Perfect on there too. The Ultimate Warrior. All right, well, gang, I'm going to stop this for just a minute. I'm going to try and get part 2 going. Again, I don't know how many parts this bad boy is going to go on for, but we'll see. But hope you enjoyed the video, and so until the next time around, as always, stay strong and rock on.